Ingmar Bergman is no stranger when it comes to including heady religious themes in his films, whether he's examining the ambiguity of the Christian God, or crises of faith of those who have fallen on hard times, or the elation one may feel when holding devout faith. Bergman is one of the few masters of cinema who seemingly perfected the meditation on one's own faith. Through a Glass Darkly presents several different themes that we commonly see Bergman explore. That of unconditional love, detachment from one's family and or friends, insecurity in one's path in life, and so on. For this video, I'd like to focus solely on Through a Glass Darkly's use of faith and religion, and how Bergman seems to be using the characters of Corinne and David to grapple with his own perception of God. It should go without saying that this video will spoil the entire film, as I'll mostly be focusing on the final 10 minutes, so please watch the film before continuing this video, and with that, welcome to Exploring Bergman. The relationship between father and daughter, David and Corinne, is a bit of a rocky one. Corinne has recently been released from a mental hospital and plans to spend the summer reconnecting with her father David and her brother Minus, along with her husband Martin, while staying at her family's summer home on a small Swedish island. She knows the truth of her illness, but is mostly unaware that her continued mental degradation is more than likely. David has recently returned home from Switzerland, where he was writing his upcoming novel. He is absent, detached, and somewhat self-absorbed, and he knows it, as he admits that he may be using aspects of the progress of his daughter's illness as inspiration for what to write about in his new book. The catalyst of these two characters and their expectations and reactions to one another awakens something within David that allows him to finally open up to his family and drop the facade that he has been shielding himself with for years, maybe even his whole life.
Jag vill be om förlåtelse, Karl. Jag har alltid haft dåligt samvete gentemot dig, så jag har förhärdat mig och vänt mig bort. När jag tänker på allt det liv som jag offrat för min så kallade konst så kväljer det mig.
Now, throughout the film, Corinne has been losing control of her sense of reality and wanders upstairs to a dilapidated old room that she feels draws her nearer to God, whom is waiting behind a closet door, preparing to reveal himself to her and the others that she imagines are in the room with her. In the climax of the film, God reveals himself to her as a grotesque spider. Corinne is shocked and horrified by this revelation that she alone is having and is quickly sedated and taken away by helicopter. David shortly after has a moment in which he believes God is in their presence, and it ends on a much kinder note that ends up bringing he and his son Minus closer together than ever before.
Pappa talade med mig.
It seems to me that Bergman is presenting us with two different embodiments of God that he has seen or perceived in his life. Like Corinne, in his most vulnerable and emotionally unstable of times, he may have looked to the existence of God, hoping and praying that salvation and true happiness and answers are there, just behind the door, only to find God and see him as a hideous spider. Corinne and Bergman himself caught in the web of lies that is institutional religion spun by the horrid spider. Bergman grew up in an extremely strict and religious household in which he was often psychologically tormented for not living up to the expectations of his father, who was a Christian minister who also acted as the advisor to the Queen of Sweden. Bergman always had certain expectations laid upon him by his father, and from what I can tell, Bergman feels that he did not live up to them. If there are any articles, interviews, what have you, that suggest otherwise, then please direct me towards them. I'm here to learn and would love to continue to do so. On the other hand, Bergman uses the character of David to relay a far kinder and more sentimental idea as to the existence of God in our world. Through David, he suggests that God exists in the form of love, that when we surround ourselves with those whom we love, when we find ourselves in places where we can feel truly at home, we can find that God exists on this earth. Not that God exists as a physical being offering salvation, but as the warm feeling you get in your happiest and most honest of moments. Despite his daughter being taken away to the mental hospital again, David comes to the realization that he has been repressing his love for his children for far too long. In this realization, he discovers hope and a true shot at salvation.
Det är vetskapen om att kärleken existerar som något verkligt i människornas värld.
Förstås en särskild sorts kärlek till det.
All slags kärlek minus den högsta och den lägsta. Den löjligaste och den skönaste. Alla slag av kärlek.
Thank you all for watching this film analysis. I've never really done a video quite like this before, so please let me know how you all interpret the themes and messaging in Through a Glass Darkly. Do you agree with what I said? Do you have a different perspective? Do I sound like a bumbling fool who read into things that weren't there? Let me know down in the comments below, and let's talk Through a Glass Darkly. And that's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thanks as always for watching, everybody. I hope to see you all again soon.